How's it going? My name is Colin Winters. I'm unfortunately the host of A Panthers Place, and today we are talking about the trade to the Giants, Brian Burns for a second and a fifth. So yeah, it's happened, and it's not all surprising, but it's still overwhelmingly disappointing. Ever since the franchise tag landed on Burns and no long-term deal happened, all Panthers fans, no matter how much we wanted to just pay the motherfucker, we knew that the Panthers, no matter how many changes occur, still always do the incompetent thing, and here we are seeing Brian Burns leaving Carolina, and I'm just fucking depressed. Coming out of this with a second and a fifth round pick after being offered 2 firsts for him at one point is also just extremely annoying. I knew we probably weren't going to be able to get a first for him again just because of the fact that the price for him dropped so drastically low. One, because we're just a shitty team and we don't get the best deals like that, and because two, he had a down year because we were a shitty team and they couldn't build that much around him, and three, that we were a shitty team and we don't have any leverage. But I was at least expecting, maybe a second and a third, not going anywhere to the late round picks. We'd get like a second and then a third or a fourth, and it'd be a little bit easier to swallow, especially because, at that point we would have the equivalent value to a first round pick. But no, we have a second and a fifth rounder, which just feels like chump change to what we should have been able to get for him, even though I was of the firm belief that we should have just fucking paid the man. With the Giants, Burns is landing a 5-year deal worth around $150 million max with $87.5 million guaranteed. And look, that's great. I'm very happy for him. He deserves the fucking bag, and it'll make him the second highest paid defensive end at the moment. And yeah, he deserves it. He absolutely does deserve it. It's so fucking frustrating. I'm just hoping that we don't do this shit again when it comes to putting Derik Brown's offer on the table, because if we continue to lose our defensive star players over and over again year after year, we're going to have this happen with Derik Brown, and they're probably going to see a healthy year from JC at this point, have him end up being the best corner in the NFL, and then we're not going to pay him either, because that's just how the Panthers roll. I would rather jam this finger and get it even more swollen again than to have to deal with the fucking pain of Brian Burns not being a Panther anymore. The Panthers are obviously rebuilding, and there is nothing we can really do about that, and it's honestly time to do a full rebuild, but you would feel like you would keep cornerstone pieces like that until you got a good enough offer, and Burns wanted to be in Carolina, but obviously there was a distinct difference between how much he wanted to stay in Carolina and how much he actually wanted to get paid, and that is completely fair because he's a man who deserves to be paid. Why wouldn't he put his foot down? Especially because we shouldn't have to expect him to take a hometown discount just because we suck ass. Trading him in conference hurts even worse, and the fact that we're going to have to deal with that we have no edge help at all, it's just incredibly disappointing because we're doing this and it feels like we have no backup plan. We're trading away our best players, and we've seen this happen before where we traded away for, it wasn't the first round, but at least it was some good comp picks. It doesn't matter. We did this with CMC. CMC goes on to just absolutely destroy the NFL. And the Panthers fans are sitting here like, well, those picks don't even fucking matter. In the end, this probably isn't as nearly bad of a deal as it feels right now. It's just PTSD from the Panthers constantly flubbing these deals and pretty much just bending over for any team who wants to make a trade for our players and absolutely letting them rail and fleece us the entire time. I'll just miss Brian Burns. He was a great Panther, a great guy. I'm going to miss his brother and on Twitter and all that. It's just, goddamn, man. The only thing that I can say is really good about the Brian Burns deal at this moment, because of course the draft picks don't mean shit, because we could draft someone like fucking DJ Johnson with these picks. But no, one silver lining is the fact that we do open up a good bit of cap space. According to the cap tracking, it will open up about $24 million in cap space, which we desperately need, especially with the big signings that we have already made with our interior line. But that is incredibly important that we will have more cap space to do more things with, and hopefully that means we will see a good few extra signings being made. I don't know, if we're lucky, maybe we can get Justin Simmons. There's already people saying that Queen should be coming to us. We're interested in Patrick Queen. But losing Frankie Louvu, Von Bell, and Brian Burns all within one day. Like, man, I want a fucking nap. And because this is just the Panthers way, we're probably going to see all of the guys that we have lost today go on and have career years immediately after leaving the Panthers because we have just sucked that bad for this long. I will always love this team, but some days are much more painful than others. And I won't give Dan Morgan too much shit for this trade either because the issue came from Scott Fitterer not taking the 2 first deal because that's essentially what gave us no leverage in anything. But God, this is becoming just a sad ramble about how fucking disappointed I am because, God, I loved Brian Burns so much. But yeah, I hope him all the best in New York because, goddamn, does he deserve that money and goddamn, does he deserve the love. Fucking hell. He could have held out. He could have held out until he got new money the entirety of last season, but he didn't. He played, and he played hard, and you'll see dumbass fans talking about how, no, he didn't have any fucking tries. Like, motherfucker, he had no help. He had no help to do shit, and he still played his heart out, was still one of the best players on the field for us. God damn it. Some motherfuckers are just straight up ungrateful for what he did as a Panther, and it is absolutely fucking atrocious. The Giants absolutely won the trade, but any trade the Panthers make, more than likely, are going to be, we're going to have to let them win and just hope we can do the best out of the situation. Yeah, I think I'm done pouring my heart out over this. Brian Burns, thank you for everything, and let's hope to God this new regime can draft well. Because we're going to need an entire draft class of dogs if this team's going to do anything next year. Thank you all very much for watching. My name is Colin Winters, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.